Have you ever stopped to think about how your life would be if you simply stopped caring about the little things that irritate you every day? You know, those random comments that make no sense, the annoying stares, or actions that push your buttons. What if I told you that you can train your mind to not let any of it affect you? There's no magic or superpower involved here. It's all about calmness and mental control. Now, imagine facing any situation with total composure, without letting anyone or anything throw you off balance. Sounds good, right? And it's simpler than you think. Today, I'll show you 7 methods to achieve this, and let me tell you, Method 7 could completely change how you view life. In the end, it all comes down to one thing. Control is in your hands. You get to decide if you'll let something ruin your day or move forward as if nothing happened. Ready for this transformation? Before we dive in, I have a small favor to ask. If these videos help you in any way, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss anything. Pay close attention, because one of these tips might hold the key to the change you're looking for. Stay with me. Let's get started. How to start practicing empathy in your daily life. First thing, stop believing that life will give you what you want just because you wish for it. I know, this hurts, but it's necessary. The world owes you nothing, and you'll need much more than desire to achieve your goals. When someone reacts angrily, the temptation is to think it's a personal attack. But most of the time, what they're going through has nothing to do with you. Their behavior could reflect an inner struggle, a terrible day, or just a moment of frustration. And this is where you come in. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, pause and ask yourself, what's happening in this person's life that made them react this way? Maybe they had a tough day. Maybe they're simply tired. Or maybe they just need someone to vent to. This doesn't mean you should let others walk all over you, but it does mean understanding that people's behavior is often not about you. Imagine you're in a river with a strong current. You can fight against the water, but it will exhaust you. Or you can relax and let the current guide you calmly. Empathy works like that. It helps you manage emotions without being swept away by them, making communication more peaceful and respectful. Stoic philosophy teaches us exactly this, to remain calm when everything around us seems to fall apart. To put this into practice, start by genuinely listening, not just to the words, but to what's behind them. Then respond in a way that shows you understand the other person's pain or frustration. Empathy doesn't solve everything, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can have in life. Awaken patience within you. Have you noticed how one small trigger can cause everything to fall apart? I'm not talking about obvious events, but those moments when a single comment or gesture turns your world into chaos. It's as if we all have an invisible string inside us, and when someone pulls the wrong thread, we immediately lose control, reacting without thinking, like being swept away by a current. But what if I told you patience could be your secret superpower? Imagine you're in a heated conversation, like a duel of verbal swords. The other person says something that makes you want to explode with rage, like a pressure cooker. But instead of striking back, you step back and breathe, like a tree standing still in the storm. The result? The conflict fades, and you keep your calm. It seems like magic, but it's actually Stoic philosophy. Patience is this rare muscle we almost never exercise in the chaos of daily life. We're so used to reacting immediately, treating every little challenge as a disaster. But in reality, many misunderstandings or comments are not the end of the world. If you can give yourself a moment to breathe and think before responding, you'll stop a tiny spark from becoming a raging fire. So how do you cultivate this powerful patience? Build solid self-esteem. Method 4. Self-esteem is often misunderstood. But don't get me wrong, I'm not here to drown you in empty motivational quotes. Instead, let's explore how you can strengthen your self-esteem so that others' opinions stop affecting you. Get ready to free yourself from the need for external approval and learn to act as if nothing can shake you. Believe me, this can be more liberating than you imagine. Think of your self-esteem as a tank. When confidence is strong, it moves forward relentlessly, overcoming every obstacle in its path. But when self-esteem is weak, the tank rusts, shakes, and becomes vulnerable, like a machine without strength. The solution isn't making small fixes. It's about reinforcing your inner armor and acting with determination. First, understand that chasing external approval is like trying to catch a wave in the ocean. You might feel close to it, but it always disappears, leaving you behind. Embracing Stoic strength against criticism. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that while we can't control what others think, we can control how we respond to it. Instead of letting negative comments or criticism consume you, focus on building your inner strength. Think of it as crafting an invisible armor that shields you from the arrows of negativity. A great way to reinforce your self-esteem is through self-affirmation. This doesn't mean boasting or singing your praises as if you were on a stage, but quietly acknowledging and celebrating even the smallest victories in your life. Imagine each accomplishment, no matter how small, as a medal you pin on yourself. Over time, this practice will strengthen your confidence like a well-trained muscle. Confronting your fears is equally important. If you're overly concerned with others' opinions, it may stem from a fear of revealing your true self. Start embracing authenticity, even if it risks drawing criticism. Authenticity acts as a shield, deflecting the impact of negativity instead of absorbing it. The more you show who you truly are, the less power others' judgments will have over you. Building self-esteem isn't an overnight process. It's a continuous journey. The key is understanding that others' approval is an illusion and your worth lies solely in your hands. As Marcus Aurelius said, your value isn't measured by the echo of others' opinions, but by the strength of your own voice. Breaking free from perfectionism. Let's get real. In today's world, perfectionism has become an obsession. Social media is flooded with picture-perfect lives, flawless homes, and unattainable ideals. But here's the truth. It's all a mirage. Perfectionism, the idea that you need to excel in everything, is a recipe for exhaustion. Life isn't a blockbuster film. It's a long journey where work, rest, and imperfection are all perfectly okay. The first lesson is simple. No one is perfect. Not you, not me, not even your seemingly perfect neighbor. Imagine trying to brew the perfect cup of coffee every single day, only to realize there's always some tiny imperfection. It's ridiculous to lose sleep over it, right? Stoic philosophy reminds us that complete control is an illusion. Life isn't a simulation game where you can tweak every parameter to your liking. Accepting this means letting go of the need to fight battles you can't win. Instead of chasing perfection, aim for good enough. If your work is solid, your presentation is clear, or your coffee is decent, that's already a win. Obsessing over minor details only drains your energy for minimal gain. A helpful mindset is to act as though nothing bothers you, not in a passive-aggressive way, but by genuinely letting go of what's beyond your control. When things go wrong, ask yourself, is this the end of the world or just a small setback? The difference between a happy person and a stressed one lies in how they view life's stumbles. Perfectionism is like chasing a horizon that always moves further away. Instead of falling into its trap, embrace your flaws and learn to live with them. True mastery isn't about being flawless. It's about knowing that imperfection is part of life, and that's incredibly freeing. Understanding that everything changes. Have you ever felt like everything around you is an endless source of irritation? It's like starring in a suspense drama where every small issue turns into a tense cliffhanger. Here's the good news. Life's plot can change, and so can your perspective. Let's talk about impermanence. While it may sound like a deep philosophical term, it's actually very simple. Nothing in life stays the same forever. The challenges that frustrate you today and the problems that keep you awake at night will eventually fade into distant memories. Think of each day as an episode in a Netflix series. Today's storyline doesn't necessarily dictate tomorrow's. Remember the last time something annoyed you? Maybe it was a misinterpreted text message or a heated argument at work. At the moment, it felt like the world was crumbling. But the next day, chances are, you barely thought about it. Recognizing the ever-changing nature of life helps us navigate its ups and downs with greater ease. Everything, no matter how overwhelming, is temporary. By embracing this truth, you'll find it easier to let go of frustrations and focus on what truly matters. Stoic philosophy on emotions and impermanence. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to embrace the idea that emotions and situations are fleeting. So, next time something bothers you, think of it as a passing cloud. It won't stay forever. It will move on. Here's a practical way to handle these temporary emotions. Imagine you have a remote control with a skip button for minor inconveniences. When something irritates you, instead of dwelling on it, mentally press that button and switch episodes. While you can't control everything around you, you can choose how much power you give to those problems. This isn't about ignoring important issues, but learning not to let every little stumble throw you off track. Another effective strategy is adopting a future perspective. Ask yourself, will what's bothering me now matter a week, a month, or a year from now? If the answer is no, it's probably not worth your energy. By seeing problems in this light, you can focus on what truly matters. Accepting impermanence not only brings serenity, but also lets you face life with humor and grace. Let small irritations remain just that, small. At the end of the day, today's troubles will become tomorrow's private joke with your future self. Remember, you're the protagonist of your story, which is always changing. You have the power to decide how you interpret it. Life is like a series. You'll have tough episodes filled with challenges and setbacks. But one bad episode doesn't define the entire story. If you didn't like today's chapter, don't get stuck in it. Sometimes the plot takes unexpected turns, but that's part of the process. Every new day, every new chapter brings a chance for something better, a turning point, or a fresh start. In the end, what matters isn't what happens along the way, but how you handle the twists and keep moving forward to the next episode of your life. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. What Stoicism teaches us is that even when faced with the abyss of pain, we have the power to choose our response. Of course, you will feel longing, sadness, and maybe even anger. But will you allow yourself to sink into a bottomless pit of lament? Or will you honor the memory of your loved one by living in a way they would be proud of? Pain is inevitable, but ongoing suffering, the kind that drags your soul to the depths, is a choice. Stoicism teaches us to face grief actively. You can mourn and still choose to be grateful for the life you shared, drawing strength from each memory and moment lived. And when it comes to everyday situations, like being constantly ignored or undervalued in a social setting, what do you do when others look down on you? Do you get angry? Anger arises naturally, but imagine that instead of getting lost in it, you start looking at things from a different perspective. Rather than seeing the disdain of others as a personal attack, you begin to see it as a reflection of their own lack of understanding. Who are these people to define your worth? You are no longer at the mercy of external perceptions. Your value comes from within. The key lesson: your peace is yours to protect. This is the central point. What others think of you does not determine your peace. The true power lies in your reaction. Will you give in to anger, or will you stand firm, knowing that no one, absolutely no one, has the power to affect your essence without your permission? It's not about being immune to life's blows. The storm will come and you will feel pain, but Stoicism gives you an essential strength, the ability to choose your reaction. Like a sculptor faced with a block of marble, you can decide with precision and patience what to shape from it. Even under pressure, you can mold yourself into something stronger, more resilient. The real question is, will you allow anger, frustration, and loss to define who you are? Or will you take these experiences and use them as a furnace to become someone stronger, more authentic, someone who does not break under life's challenges? Every blow life gives you has the power to destroy you or shape you. Like a sculptor turning a block of stone into a masterpiece, everything depends on how you choose to respond to these moments. Stoicism doesn't promise that you'll never feel pain or suffering, but it teaches one fundamental truth. Pain doesn't have to rule your life, turning pain into strength. Yes, you will suffer. You will feel frustration and fear. That's part of the journey. But the power lies in how you rise afterward. Stoicism is about having the courage to be more than the pain that consumes you, to reinvent yourself, and to find a strength within you that you never knew existed. In the end, this is what gives you true freedom. Not the absence of suffering, but the ability to choose how you respond to it and to move forward, stronger and more alive than ever. Act as if nothing can affect you. This isn't about being insensitive. It's about not letting the world ruin who you are. Marcus Aurelius said, "External events have no power over us, only the reactions we choose." What he wanted to teach is simple. Nothing that happens outside of you can control who you are unless you allow it. Focus on what you can control. It's easy to get lost in life's storms. When someone hurts you, when the pressure builds, or when problems seem unbearable, it's easy to fall into the trap of reacting impulsively. But the raw truth is that if you let it, everything will affect you. Every word, every look, every mistake. In the end, you become a slave to what happens around you. Marcus Aurelius wasn't saying to ignore what's important. He was saying to focus on what you can control. Your mind, your choices, your inner peace. The world can be brutal, but you don't have to be carried away by it. You can be the fortress of your own calm. True strength comes from not allowing others or circumstances to define you. Think about it. What really affects you? What throws you off balance? And why do you let it? If you act as if nothing can affect you, it doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're stronger than anything that tries to take your peace away. The power lies in how you choose to react. The greatest victory is not losing your essence, no matter what happens out there. If you're ready to live with more strength, control, and wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Share this video with those who need this message of resilience. If you've made it this far, leave your mark by writing Stoic Sage in the comments. Let's transform every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Remember, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain.